Welcome everybody. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. My name's Dora. You're all very welcome. We'll begin on our backs. I've actually placed a little sheepskin blanket on my mat. Any blanket will do. You may be working on a carpet with a mat, may be soft enough for you. Just to give your spine a little bit of support and comfort for the work we're going to do on our backs. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out to the sides and come down onto your forearms. Make a little adjustment here, so lifting the hips and reaching your sit bones towards your heels. Catch the flesh of the buttocks, lengthening the lumbar spine into the pose and release yourself down onto the earth. Now this is quite a strong hip opener. If it doesn't feel comfortable, you could prop your knees a little bit, give yourself some support, maybe 2 blocks underneath your thighs or a couple of cushions. You don't want to feel like you're hanging out of your groins here, especially if you're quite flexible. This may feel a little uncomfortable. Alternatively, you can raise the knees and place the feet flat to the floor. Let's bring our hands into a diamond mudra. So the tip of the first finger and the thumb are touching. You're going to place this diamond shape on your lower belly. So thumbs around the navel, fingers pointing towards the pubis. Adjust the shoulder blades, let the shoulders and the elbows release. And bring your awareness to the breath in the lower belly. Notice when you inhale, the belly rises and expands. Perhaps the fingers come slightly away from one another. And as you exhale, fingers come back to touch, belly deflates. Take a few rounds of breath here. Softening the muscles around the eyes. Relax the hinge of the jaw and allow the breath to evolve from the inside out. Switch your hands now around the rib cage, just underneath the breast there. So the tips of your longest fingers are touching, just cupping the front and sides of the ribcage with your hands, elbows extend. And feel the movement of the ribcage as you breathe. Ribcage rises and expands sideways. You may feel that the fingers come slightly apart on the inhale and draw back towards the sternum on the exhale. You release the arms down by your sides, palms facing up. Just take a gentle roll of your head from point to point across the back of the skull here. Releasing a little bit of tension in the back of the neck. Draw your knees towards your armpits and cross your right ankle over your left. Mold the hands over the fronts of the knee joints and start to circle your knees around towards the right. Use your hands to guide your knees, rolling around the outer rim of your pelvis here. Be present to the sensation as you pass from point to point, where it might feel a little tight or tender, where it might feel really lovely to linger. Notice how the core muscles switch on when the knees move forward. And come to the center, and still with this diamond shape, you're going to lengthen the legs up. So you're elongating your diamond shape. Still the right ankle is over the left. The inner thighs are curling or opening towards you. Take your palms, let's take them down on the mat. And as you exhale, lift your hips a little. Inhale, release down. 4 more times. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. One more time. Lovely. Bending the knees, change the cross of the ankles, hands onto the knees, and rotate your knees around towards the left. Move from point to point around the sacroiliac joints. Noticing any points of tension and tightness, any tender spots. Come to the center, stretch your legs up still with the left ankle over the right. So there's an elongated diamond shape between your thighs. Inner thighs roll towards you, palms on the earth. Exhale, lift your hips. Inhale, release down. 4 more times. Trying to pierce the sky with your toes. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. And inhale. Lovely. Draw your knees to your armpits, uncross the ankles and seal the legs together. As you flex your feet, stretch the legs up towards the ceiling, slide the hands up the front of the shins. This is your inhale. As you exhale, use your fingers to guide your legs wide. Inhale, squeeze the legs together. Exhale, bend the knees wide, heels to the perineum. Inhale, stretch your legs up. Exhale, guide them wide. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stretch your legs up as you inhale. Exhale, take the legs wide. Just move a little bit. This to the wall. Take your hands to your inner thighs and rotate your inner thighs towards you so the toes point down. Start to angle down. Take the hands to the heart in prayer. Take an inhale as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders. Reach through your legs and look towards your thumbs. It's a little core strengthener. There might be an opportunity to relax tension in the tops of your thighs. Maybe your toes angle down, your thighs drop a little bit more. Couple of breaths. And then bring your thumbs to your heart. Hands onto your inner calf muscles. Apply a little bit of pressure down there as you squeeze the legs back together. A little bit of resistance with the hands. And hug your knees towards you. Slip the hands behind the backs of the knees. We'll do a couple of rocks up and back. Maybe the feet stay off the floor. This is where the softness of your blanket might be useful. Just waking up the spine. And coming all the way up, tips of the toes to the floor. Have your hands behind your knees, lift your elbows, and maybe float the shins to a half boat pose. Next stage, you could reach the arms forward, palms facing up. Right ankle over the left, separate the knees again so you've got that diamond shape. And start to roll yourself over towards the right sit bone. Maybe the left buttock starts to come off the floor. And you might be wobbling here. Find that balance and then losing it again. Trying to clear the left buttock off the floor. So just balancing on your right sit bone. You might want to elongate this diamond shape a little, lowering the back flat a fraction, still hovering over to the right side. Keep breathing. And then as you come back up, draw your knees towards your armpits. Take the hands onto the fronts of the knees. Place the feet to the floor so you've got your right foot over your left and the feet are flat. Draw your spine tall, lower your chin towards your chest. Keep the back of the heart moving inwards and upwards. Raise your gaze and wiggle the feet underneath the knees so you're in square pose. Maybe walk your sit bones back 1 and 2, shins are parallel to the top edge of the mat. Hinging forward from the hips, take the fingertips forward so they're a little bit wider than your shoulders. And maybe do a little sway here as you lengthen the spine forward. Creeping fingertips forward. Coming to your first comfortable edge. You may be able to plant the palms, let the upper body, head and neck release. Or you may be further upright here, and that's fine. If the sit bones are lifted, press away from the tips of the fingers, root the sit bones back to the floor. Back of the neck is long, front of the face is softening down. Have an awareness of the breath in the back body. Breathing spaciousness into the back of the heart, width into the back of the rib cage and waist. Start to make your way back up. And take the fingertips by the hips here. Bring your spine into alignment. Raise your right arm up. So raise your right arm up and hinge over as you exhale. Inhale. Passing through. Exhale. Little lateral stretch of the spine. Inhale. Lift the ribcage up off the waist. Exhale. Float over. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Coming all the way back up. Come back up onto the tips of the toes. Take your hands behind the knees. Lift the elbows. Maybe float the shins parallel to the floor. Next stage may be to release the arms, palms facing upwards and cross the left ankle over the right, separating the knees slightly. Start to tip or tilt yourself over to the left. Maybe the right buttock starts to come off the floor. So you're just hovering over onto the left sit bone. Keep breathing. You know your core is activated. You could elongate this shape. So beginning to lay down a little bit. Beginning to straighten the knees a fraction. Coming back up, knees towards the armpits. Feet to the floor, hands onto the knees. So you've got your left ankle over your right. Draw the spine up, lower the chin towards the chest. Back of the heart moves inwards and upwards. Lift your gaze and wiggle your ankles underneath your knees. And walk your sit bones back. 1 and 2. Come forward again. Fingertips are a little bit wider than your shoulders. We're going to combine those last 2 movements. First of all, find that lift and length to the inner seam of your spine. Make sure you're not lifting your chin too much here, so back of the neck long. Take your right fingertips out to the side and sweep your left fingertips across the floor like a little half circle. Spin the heart at the top of the inhale. Exhale, right fingertips followed by the left. Spin the heart as you inhale. And again, exhale. Longest finger drawing a little groove in the floor in front of you. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhale. One more time each side. Exhale. Sweeping your body close to the floor. Exhale. And Inhale, coming all the way back up. Possibly leaning back, taking a hold of the feet or the ankles. If you can make that transition over the shins. Otherwise, just make your own way onto your hands and knees. Keep the blanket for the next action, if you have one. Wrists under shoulders. Bring the knees together. Pick up your right toes. Flex the toes back so you're pressing the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling. And keep the knee angling down. Inhale. Exhale, bring knee to knee. Inhale, take the knee out to the side. Exhale, take it back down. Inhale. Keep the pelvic bones relatively square. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, fly the knee out. And exhale. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhale. Take the shin to the floor. Lift and round your spine. Push the earth away from you. Spread across the shoulder blades. And inhale, come into neutral. Pick up your left toes. Flex the toes back. Press the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, fly the knee out to the side. Exhale, take it back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take the shin to the floor. Lift and round your spine. Coming into neutral. Tuck your toes. Walk your hands back to sit on the heels. And you can move your blanket out of the way so you just have your mat now. And walk yourself back. Separate the knees a little bit. Walk the hands another hand forward. Draw the shoulder blades up the back and feel the tips of the shoulder blades connecting towards the mid-spine. Check out your hands so your index fingers are parallel towards one another. Lift the knees and leading with your tailbone. Start to unfold into your down dog. You can keep the knees bent here. Soften the elbows, spread the weight across the balls of your feet. Imagine you were sliding your hands into gloves and your feet into slippers. So the fingers and the toes are lengthening from the creases of the wrists and the fronts of your ankles. You can bend one knee and then the other here, easing into the backs of the legs, into the tissues and the backs of the calf muscles. Walking your hands back towards your feet, pushing the mat forward, coming to stand, the feet hip distance apart. Let your body drape over your thighs. Have a softness in your knees, if not a bend. And turn the palms up so the backs of the hands are on the floor in front of your toes. Longest fingers may be lightly touching. Include a circle with your arms here. So inhale, lengthen forward through your heart. Keep the chin in. Slowly coming up, floating your arms up by your ears. And drop your right arm down as you exhale, come into a lateral stretch. Bend the knees, start to curl over, keep the navel lifted towards the spine. And then the right arm carries you up. So full circle, both arms rise. 2 more times. Drop the right arm down, soften the knees. Exhale, navel lifts, curl yourself around. Inhaling. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. Drop the right arm down. Take the left leg behind you. Take a curtsy. As if you had leg weights in your right fingertips there. And take it back. Whoopsie. Take it to the other way. Right leg behind you. Left arm drapes. And then coming back. Wonderful. Walk yourself forward towards the front of the mat. Place your feet a hip distance apart. Take a big inhale as you raise your arms. Exhale, fly forward from the hips. Soften the knees, take the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge. Lower your back knee down onto the floor. Come up onto the tips of the fingers and take your fingers more or less in line with your ankle bones here. And as you take the hips forward, flip over the fingertips onto the backs of the hands. Inhale. Exhale onto the palms of the hands and lift your toes. Inhale over the fingertips, backs of the hands to the floor. Exhale, flip over, hands to the floor, lift the toe. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling. Maybe you're holding it here. Right hand could peek over the foot so the toes are in the crease of the wrist. Left hand out to the side is a stabilizing element if that's useful. Put the toes towards the shin, forehead towards the shin. Feel where your hips are. Just center them behind you as best you can feel that. And then release the hand on the foot as you walk yourself back onto the right foot. Push into the foot. Float your arms out into a T shape. Twist towards the right, so across your right knee. Take the left fingertips to the front of the right shoulder. And look towards your right thumb. Left arm drapes over the head as you reach back a little bit here. Little twisted reverse warrior. And then the left hand comes to the floor, inside of the foot, the right arm rises. Let's lift the back knee off the floor. Push down so much with your legs that you come onto the tips of the left fingers. Maybe you root even further and float the arm off so you're free floating here. Take the hand to the floor, left hand to the floor, right hand to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Inner eyes of your elbows turn to face one another. Lift the inner thighs towards the sky. Lower your knees. Come and sit down onto the heels as you exhale. You could lift the fingers off here, so you're balancing on the heels of the hands, like two little stop signs. And slide the wrists back to draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Release the hands to the floor, come back onto hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Soften the elbows. Tricep muscles turn towards one another, bicep muscles towards the sky. Stretch the heels towards the skirting board behind you. 3 rhythmic breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let's float the right leg up behind us, pressing the ball of the foot away. Bring the knee towards the nose. Hop up onto the right fingertips, so you've made a little bit of space, and step the right foot forward. Come onto the left fingertips. Glide your back foot to join. Let's keep the feet hip distance apart. Lead with your heart. Float your arms out and up. Palms are facing upwards, just into a T shape. Cross your left leg behind you, so there's quite a gap here. And as you exhale, spine descends vertically. Maybe you're just going to touch the back knee and then rebound. 2 more times. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. and step the foot hip distance apart. Take a big inhale as you float your arms out and up, soften the knees. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale, step back with your right toes. Lower the back knee to the floor and come onto the tips of the fingers, walking your fingertips more or less in line with that front ankle bone. Flip over the fingers back to the hands as you come forward. Inhale. Exhale, palms to the floor, lift the toes. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, maybe a little stretch to the backs of the wrists. Exhaling, little hamstring stretch. Keep a softness in your knee. Inhale. Exhaling. Further to this, you can take your left hand over the foot so the toes are in the crease of the wrist. Right hand, like a stabilizer, comes out to the side. Draw the toes towards the shin, forehead towards the shin as you bow. Feel where your hips are. You might need to draw them back into the center a little bit here. Couple of breaths. Try not to lock out that front knee. And walk yourself back onto your foot. Push into the foot. Float your arms out to the sides. Twist towards your front knee and float the right fingertips to the front of the left shoulder. Look back towards your left thumb and squeeze the inner thighs towards one another for stability. As you float your right arm over your head, let it drape. The left arm reaches back. You float your right hand to the floor inside of the foot, left arm rises. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, lift the back knee off the floor. Make sure you're not too long, so you can root down through the legs and come up onto the tips of your right fingers. Maybe you can root down even further and float the hand off, so you're free floating here. Right hand comes back to the floor, left hand comes back to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Distribute the weight between the 4 points of contact on the earth. Lower your knees. Come and sit down onto your heels as you exhale. Lift the fingers off the floor. Make a stop sign with your hands. Draw the arm bones back to connect to the mid-spine. Take your hands to the earth. Come back onto hands and knees. Inhale, exhale, float your hips up and back. Float your left leg up behind you. Press the ball of the foot away. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to the nose. Hop up onto the left fingertips. So you've made a little bit of space to step that left foot forward. Both fingertips as you extend the heart. Spring your back foot forward and fold. Lead with your heart as you sweep your arms out and up. And open the arms out to the sides. Right ball of the foot comes behind you. There's quite a bit of space between the feet. Take an inhale. Exhale, maybe you can lightly land the back knee and then rebound. Oops. You might not make it all the way down. Come back up. One last time. And step the feet hip distance apart, arms down by your sides. Take a big inhale once again. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale, step back with your left toes. Push into the front foot, float your arms out into an aeroplane. Narrow the pelvic bones, twist to the right. Left fingertips come onto the front of the right shoulder. Left arm drapes over the head as you reach back. And twist or turn into a warrior two as your back heel comes down, windmilling the arms. Shoulders over the hips, wrists above the ankles. Wrapping your left arm around the back of the waist. Maybe take a hold of the wrist with the right hand and maybe wrap in a little bit more without forcing. So the forearm rests on the mound of the buttocks. Reach your right arm out again and turn the palm up towards the sky. Take an inhale, reach up. Slightly over, but more upright. Use the back arm to sweep the lower back long. Inhale, exhale, swing the hips back and reach out towards the Trikonasana. Inhale, bend the front knee, reverse warrior. Exhale, swing the hips back, reach out towards the Trikonasana. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Coming all the way up, turning your right toes in, so both sets of toes point forward. Keep the hips square, twist the shoulders towards the left. Reaching out, coming towards a flat back, so you're coming across, keeping the thumb lifted. And use your left forearm to sense if you're dropping into the lower back too much or you need a little bit more extension. Soften the knees, shift the weight forward. And floating your right hand onto the left foot or ankle. Let's straighten the arms, start to twist and lean the shoulder blades towards your right toes. Moving your spine across, forehead to shin. Inhale, lean your shoulder blades over towards the right as the spine veers across. Exhale, draw your forehead towards your shin. Might be a smaller movement than mine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up as you come back upright, arms into a T shape, and spin the feet towards the right. Drop down into a warrior two. Back arm comes up and over. Fingertips to the floor. Heel turn your foot a little bit further out towards the right, perhaps not quite as wide as your mat, and take the fingertips inside. Extend the heart, press into the back heel, lifting the chest. Good. And then springing your back foot to the outside of your left hand. Wiggle your feet so they're hip distance apart. Let your head go. Lead with your heart as you come all the way back up to standing. Fly forward to touch the earth as you exhale. Inhale, step back with your right toes. Push down through both feet and float your arms into an aeroplane. Twist towards the left, your right fingertips come to the front of the left shoulder. Perhaps look back towards your left arm, squeeze the inner thighs. Right arm drapes over your head as you reach back. And turn the chest in opposition as the right heel comes down. Open the arms into your warrior two. Find your pose, adjust your feet if you need to. Right arm wraps around the back of the waist. Take a hold of the wrist or the hand and gently coax the arm around a little bit more. The left arm can then reach out, palm facing up. Inhale. Slide the left lung up inside the rib cage. Exhale, swing the hips back and reach out. Inhaling, tilt upwards, slightly backwards, exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, standing up, turning the toes forward. Left arm up by the ear, hips are relatively square, turn the shoulders towards the right and reach out on a diagonal. Keep the upper arm lifted by the cheeks, soften the knees, keep breathing. So then float your left hand onto the right foot or ankle. Lift the chest, press away from the ankle to straighten that bottom arm and possibly veer the entire spine over towards the left. And then draw in forehead to shin. Exhale, inhale. Veer the shoulders back a little bit. Exhale, draw in. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling and floating the arms all the way back up. Spinning the feet towards the left, drop down into a warrior two. Back arm comes up and over, hands to the floor. Swivel up your back heel. Wiggle the left foot slightly to the left. So you can take both hands inside of the foot. Come onto the tips of the fingers. Keep the hips buoyant and the heart extending forward into space. And spreading the back foot forward so the foot is outside of the hand. Wiggle the feet so they're hip distance apart and stable. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale. And exhale, fly forward to touch the earth. And release. Stepping back with your left toes. Plant the palms and sweep your right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Step the foot to the left thumb and place your back heel in and down. So it's a warrior one stance this time. Pull your right hip back in space, push down, float your arms out to the sides. Twist to the right, left fingers towards the front of the right shoulder. Take the left arm over the head as you frame your head. And then float the left hand onto the top of your front foot or ankle. Right arm can rise, you're in a twist. And pull your right hip back against your armpit. There's lots of length in the right side of the waist. If you wanted to bind here, even a half bind, right arm wraps around the back of the waist. Left arm maybe comes underneath and you could interlace the fingers. Just a half bind may be enough. The gaze can be down towards the right toes or towards the wall that your chest is facing. Couple of breaths here. Releasing the fingertips to the floor. Walk your fingertips forward here. And see if you can swivel up your back heel. Shift the weight forward, coming into a supported warrior three. Try to square the hips from the strength of your navel. Your toes point down. Your chest lifts. You can keep a bent supporting knee if you need. Bending the knees, stepping back into a lunge. Take the hands to the floor, either side of your front foot. Step back into a high plank. Separate the feet so they're a little bit wider than the hip distance and swing your heels to the right. So you come onto the inner edge of one foot, outer edge of the other. Maybe the left arm comes over by the cheek. As you bend both knees, reach back, exhale. Inhale, sweep the arm in a full circle. You want to scoop the right shoulder blade into the back here to stabilize that shoulder joint. One more time, exhaling. Inhaling, take the hand to the floor, swivel back into a high plank. Lower your knees, come and sit down onto the heels. Keep the toes tucked, maybe lift the fingers, balancing on the wrists. Little stop sign to the hands. Lift the hands back to the floor. Come back up onto hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Float your right leg up behind you. Inhale. Knee to nose as you exhale. Scoop up the belly. Come on to the tips of your right fingers. Step the right foot forward. tips of the left fingers, and then glide your back foot forward to fold. Come all the way up, lead with the heart as you sweep your arms out and up. And exhale, fly forward once again to the second side. Step back with your right toes. Sweep the left leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Step the left foot towards the left thumb and place your back heel in and down. Pull your left hip up and back before you come up here in your warrior one stance. Use both feet to rise, arms come out to the sides. Take a twist towards your left knee. Right fingertips rest to the front of the shoulder. Arm drapes over the head, reach back. And the right hand comes onto the ankle or the shin. So you're in a twist, keep the back heel down. Lean the shoulder blades slightly away from the front knee. Left arm rises. Pulling your left hip back so that there's more length in the left side of the waist. You could wrap the left arm around. Maybe take a bind with your right arm underneath the thigh. And then lean the shoulder blades again away from the knee. Keep the back of the neck long. Your gaze can be down towards the toes or towards the wall that your chest is facing. And then releasing the hands to the floor. Swivel up your back heel, step back into a high plank. Make sure you're long enough, feet are a little bit wider than hip distance. Swing your heels to the left. So you've got one foot in front of the other here. Reach your right arm over by the cheek and scoop the left shoulder blade onto the upper back. Bend the knees as you reach back, exhale. Inhale, one full circle. And again, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Slide the hand back onto the floor. Swivel yourself around. Lower your knees. Come and sit down onto the heels. Exhale. And then back up onto hands and knees. Float yourself up and back into your downward facing dog. Float the left leg up behind you as you inhale, knee to nose, exhale. Come onto the left fingertips. Step the left foot forward. Come onto the right fingertips. Glide your back foot forward to fold. Soften the knees and wrap your arms around the backs of the legs, taking a hold of one wrist, and just let the knuckles travel down towards the floor. Nod and shake the head, just release any tension around the occiput and into the brainstem. Take a hold of the opposite wrist, let the knuckles fall down. And then release and slowly cup all the way up to standing, arms by the ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge. Sweep the right leg up behind you. Inhale. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Shave the back of your left knee joint with your right toes. Bring the ball of the right foot to the floor, the left leg stays straight. Raise up your right arm. It's a side angle pose rather than a back bend. Firm the left shoulder blade into the upper back. Maybe you can lift your right toes off and place the right foot to the floor in front of you. And then lower yourself all the way down to both sit bones. Circle the right arm back, the left arm forward. And float the left fingertips to the front of the shoulder. So a little twist looking back towards your thumb. Using muscular effort rather than leverage against the knee or the floor. Float yourself around, turn the palms upwards. Lean back, bend the bottom leg underneath you, pull the ankle in, and maybe you can come all the way up to standing without the hands or with the hands. Spin yourself back around towards the front. Lovely. Come to the front of the mat if you aren't. Last side, take an inhale. We'll come to the floor after this. Exhale. Inhale, step back with your right toes. Float your left leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, shade the back of the knee joint, ball of the foot to the floor, left arm rises. Bring the front and back body along the same plane. Lift out to that bottom shoulder. Engage your core as you float your left foot over the top. Place it to the earth. And then lower yourself all the way down. Just come onto the sit bones. You're facing back. Left arm circles back, right arm comes forward. Squeeze the left knee in. Right fingertips float to the front of the shoulder as you look back. Coming out of this, palms facing up. Lean back so you can curl that bottom ankle underneath. And possibly come up here without the arms. And swivel yourself around, come towards the front of the mat. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Step back with your left toes. Step back into a plank. Lower your knees, flatten your feet, and come and sit down into your child's pose. Choose the positioning of your arms that allows your shoulders to relax as much as possible. Support the forehead or forehead on the earth. Come back to the whole body breathing. Stretching your arms out in front of you. Come up onto hands and knees. Maybe roll onto the kneecaps as you lift the toes. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Cross an ankle, doesn't matter which one. And roll yourself over. If you can make that little transition over onto your sit bones. Otherwise, just make your own way over here. Let's bring the feet to the floor, hip distance, curl the tailbone under, and release yourself down to the earth. That's it. Turn the palms up, adjust the shoulder blades, draw your right knee towards your chest without holding the knee, and stretch the leg up so it's vertical. That's it. Keep the tailbone plugged down. Bring your right thigh across your left, kick out through the heel, and keep drawing that right hip down and forward, as if you had the thumb in the crease there. And if you're a little bit too overzealous, notice if the lower back is lifting too much off the floor. Keep the toes spreading and flexed. Take the leg back through to the center. Take a strong external rotation in the top of your right thigh. So your toes are pointing out towards the tip of your right ear. And this right leg is going to come up and over. So rather than just straight out to the side, toes are coming up and out. Let the left knee drop out to counterbalance the weight of the leg. And support underneath that right leg wherever is convenient. So you're not rocking over too much with the weight of that leg. Left hand onto the hip bone. Look straight towards the ceiling. If we look towards the leg, we're more likely to roll over a little bit more. Out to counterbalance the weight of the leg, and support underneath that right leg wherever is convenient. So you're not rocking over too much with the weight of that leg. Left hand onto the hip bone. Look straight towards the ceiling. If we look towards the leg,
coming with the leg out, left knee from out, counterbalance the weight of the leg. And support underneath that right leg wherever it's convenient.
Cross the right ankle over, press the knee forward, lift the left foot off the floor, drop the knee.
Look straight towards the ceiling. If we look down, it's the leg coming with the leg out, left knee from out, counterbalance the weight of the leg. And support underneath that right leg wherever it's convenient. So not dropping over too much for the weight of that leg.
Place the left foot to the floor, hug your right knee in, and take the foot to the right. Get your left knee towards you, stretch the leg up. Love the left side of the pelvis down. The left leg is crossed and roll the left foot forward. Externally rotating the root of the thigh, pushing up towards the tip of the ear, right knee gets out, support somewhere underneath the leg. The left ankle over, square toes, right foot comes off the floor, drop the knee. Place the foot to the floor, hug your left knee in, right knee towards you, take a little rock. Place the feet to the floor. Settle yourself into Shavasana.